Good morning. This is Faith at Faith and Books. It's just a little before 7 a.m. on a rainy Sunday morning, and I've been up since 4:30. I'm really tired. I'm going to go back to bed. But then when I get up again, I'm going to have to just hit the ground running. So I thought I'll make this video now because I didn't manage to make a Friday wrap up or a Saturday update this weekend because it's already Sunday somehow. Really fast. Happened really fast. And one of the things I'm going to do later today is Kate Howe has her every other month reading social for the Victorian book club. So I guess we're going to talk about this, The Dead Secret. And I finished that earlier in February. I guess this is going to be my February wrap up and my March TBR. I've been having a really good reading year so far, January and February. I'm trying to remember all the books that I read in February. Sorry about the light shining. Looks like I have a bald spot there, but there's a light bulb up there. I don't know how to figure it out, how to get the lighting better. Anyway, but this week I finished reading Nature's Best Hope by Douglas Tallamy, who apparently is a well-known ecologist, biologist, ecobiologist. I'm not sure what his exact title is. And he's written several best-selling books. This is his latest, I believe, Nature's Best Hope. I really liked it. It was easy to read. I read it on my Kindle. And I think it made a very convincing argument promoting his idea of just grassroots, that's kind of a pun, citizens taking the environment into their own hands by using their yards to become little conservation parks, and all those lawns turned into this conservation area would be the equivalent of a huge national park. And he makes a really good argument for why we need to support life in our yards. And having these nice green turf lawns doesn't do the trick. So we need to change our mindsets. We need to change our sort of cultural expectations and really promote support for pollinators. Like only 13% of plants are pollinated by wind. The rest have to be pollinated by pollinators. We're basically killing off all our native pollinators by using insecticides. And so eventually the population is going to collapse, and that's going to be a really bad problem for us in terms of food. And, honeybees, most people think of honeybees as the prime pollinators, but they're actually imported from Europe. And they're collapsing too for a variety of reasons, because there's new diseases that have come in, and also the insecticides we're using are killing them. So we really, really need pollinators. And he also talks about supporting other life like birds. So things that can fly into your yard and don't have problems crossing roads are life that we can easily support, and they're important. And so they're important to the health of the planet and therefore to our health. And we can do it, and it can be a really fun, interesting, joyful thing to do. And it can bring communities together and all sorts of good things. So it's a very hopeful and accessible way for everybody who has a little bit of property to, be part of the solution. So I really found it interesting, and I highly recommend it. So I finished that earlier this week, and then I'm almost finished with another book called, and I was going through the list on my Kindle, and I saw it, and I thought, I don't remember downloading this book. So I think I must have downloaded it like a couple of years ago and never really read it. Maybe, I'm not sure. But anyway, it is by, let me see if I can remember the title. I'm not going to be able to remember the whole title. Let's see. I'm 67% through, but I think a lot of it at the end is going to be footnotes. It's also a nonfiction, and it is called Jesus and the Jewish Roots of Mary by Brant Pitra. I don't know how you say his name, Pitre. And this is a really interesting book that looks at the prefiguring or the typology of Mary in the Old Testament, and also looks at what ancient Jews around the time of Christ were approaching the idea of the Messiah and his mother, and also looks at ancient Christian, the early church fathers' take on Mary. So it's all to support the Catholic veneration of Mary and why we have these certain ideas about Mary. And so it's all there to prove that it all comes right out of Scripture and the ancient Jewish tradition and early Christian tradition. Very clearly written, a quick read, lots and lots of scripture and footnotes and that sort of thing. So I'm enjoying it very much. I'm hoping to finish it today, this last day of February. So that's pretty good. So I'm enjoying that. So that was February. That's my wrap up of February. I know I read more in February, but I can't remember right now what else I read. But those two things are just this week. So let me do for Black History Month, I did buy this book and I got it finally. It was kind of delayed. It went a circuitous route to get here, but I finally got this book, Farming While Black, a Soulfire Farm's Practical Guide to Liberation on the Land by Leah Penniman. There you go. It's a beautiful book. Here you go. And quite interesting. It's very much steeped in sort of promoting a Black culture that's rooted in the ancestors from Africa, and sort of integrating, here we go, irrigation systems from Africa, sort of integrating a lot of the agricultural practices in Africa, and even a lot of the spirituality. So it's kind of, there's some more. So it's really foreign to me. It's coming from a very different perspective, which is good. It's good for me to be exposed to different things. Here's a fun picture. So I think it's going to be really interesting. But what I like about it is it's got a lot of stuff about West Africa, and I happen to live with somebody from Cote d'Ivoire, though she grew up in Abidjan, so she's a city girl all the way. She didn't know a thing about this. But I just find it interesting because I'm interested in Africa because I know someone from there, and so I find that aspect interesting. Here we go. They have a Yoruba prayer for the sacrifice of a hen or a rooster. So I think there's like voodoo stuff in here as well. But also it's got a lot of really, really practical tips. So I think it'll be a really interesting book to read. I've been kind of perusing it, but I'm not going to have time to read it right now. But it's something that I'm just going to keep going back to and reading, pieces here and there. So I think I'm glad I got it. And it's something I'm going to refer to later, off and on. So that's that. That was my latest book acquisition in February. And then let me do my TBR for March. So I'm still participating in this read along, although I've taken a break for the last couple of days. When was it? Thursday night? They had the talk with Christy from Dostoevsky in Space, and Pat from the, not Pat, Peg from the History Shelf, and the two guys from Codex Cantina, and I'm sorry, I can't tell them apart, and Victoria from the musical Bookworm, which was a new channel to me. Anyway, so they had their discussion of the second chunk of it, and now I've got to get started reading again. So I kind of took a few day break, and I need to get back to that. So hopefully tonight, I'm going to try and finish the book on Mary today, and maybe get another chapter in of this tonight. We'll see. I'm really tired, but we'll see. I'm kind of nervous about March, though, because I'm going to be reading this through March, and that takes, effort. And then, although I'm enjoying it very much, but still, it's a commitment. I'm also doing this, it's about at 25 to 35 minutes every morning. I'm reading the Bible, then I'm reading a little bit of Fratelli Tutti for Lent, which only takes about 5 or 10 minutes more, but that's already 45 minutes every morning devoted to reading other stuff. And then I'm going to try to read this. And then my March of the Mammoth commitment is this baby. So I have no idea how far I'll get in this in March. And I like that about the March of the Mammoths. They don't make you commit to it. I read Bleak House last Victober, and that was a big chunk. And I was reading it from a book. This, though, I think the type is easier to read, so I don't think I'm going to have as much trouble with it as I did with Bleak House. But I have noticed that I read much faster on my Kindle because it's just bigger, and it's I can make the font bigger, and it's just easier to read. And I'm much slower when I'm reading actual books because of my eyes. And now in March, I'm going to be reading. I'm a good bit through this one already, but I'm going to be trying to read these two kind of hefty books, and we'll see how far I go, because I've also noticed that when I'm reading, when I'm reading a fiction or a novel, my other books, because I usually have at least 2 books going at once, but my other books tend to be nonfiction. I don't think I really like having 2 storylines going in 2 different books at the same time, so I tend to gravitate to nonfiction. But this is 2, really engrossing, absorbing, dramatic storylines going on, and that's what I'm going to be doing in March. So we will see how well I do. I'm really committed to finishing the Brothers Karamazov by the end of March, going along with the read-along that's going on. So that's my first priority, and I will just read as much Les Miserables as I can get to. And then I've decided to scrub middle grade March. I had planned to read a couple of books, and that's what I did mostly for March last year. That's what I mostly participated in, although I didn't do it, I didn't do the prompts or anything like that, but I did read a lot of middle grade books last March. But I think this March I'm just not going to get to it. I'm going to do the Mammoth. I'm going to do Brothers Karamazov, and let me find this other book. I'm going to do at least one mystery, and the mystery is going to be, it's all out of order here. I'm pretty sure that I downloaded it, but I don't see it here. I really thought I had downloaded it. Okay, what's going on here? Wait, maybe if I go to download it in your library. Oh, do I go to that? See, I share this with my husband. He's been messing with this. Oh dear, I will have to figure this out. But whatever it is, I really thought I had downloaded it. Anyway, what it is the next Beatrix Potter Cottage mystery. So I read the first one, Hilltop Farm Mystery, and whatever the next one is, and I really thought I had bought it and downloaded it. I'm going to read it on my Kindle, because that way at night I can read it if I wake up in the night, or if I have Insomnia. That'll be the book that I'm trying to finish. It really isn't here. That is weird. Okay, I'll have to download that and see what happened to that. Anyway, so that's it. I'm going to read that one mystery, whatever the name of that book is, which is the next one in the Beatrix Potter Cottage series. So that'll be my mystery contribution. And then it'll be Les Miserables, the Brothers Karamazov, the Bible. That's pretty much what I'm reading in March. So I'm feeling trepidatious, but maybe if I go back to bed and sleep for a couple of hours, I'll feel less intimidated. And yeah, that's about it. And I'm looking forward to the social for the Victorian Book Club this afternoon at 3:30 or something like that. So that's it. So I wish you well, happy reading, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.